Hello and welcome to Dice and Demons. I'm Emma and today is April 2nd and it is International Autism Day. Some people call it like autism awareness or autism acceptance or autism appreciation. I prefer the two last ones. As an autistic person myself, I also have ADHD. I'm kind of interested in seeing what people are talking about on April 2nd, or these the International Autism Awareness Month or whatever. And sometimes I really can relate to the stuff that's being shown, and sometimes I can't. And I thought, well, why not do some content that I at least, and probably other people in the hobby as well, can relate to. So in this video, which is a bit different from the usual hobby stuff, I am going to be talking about wargaming. So not just Warhammer, though Warhammer is the main thing in my hobby, but it could be any sort of gaming system or anything else related to wargaming. I think this would be relevant for. And I'm going to be talking about that and how it is like really helpful for me in my day-to-day life, and how basically it has definitely been a lifesaver. I'm not saying that without Warhammer I would not be alive, but I'm definitely saying that without wargaming my life would look very different. And I really appreciate the fact that the wargaming hobby exists, and that the wargaming communities, both in real life and online, exist as well, because they have. I mean, I don't know how even to put into word how much of a difference this hobby has made for me, particularly here in the last year. For those of you who have been following me for a while, or who know me, you know that this last year has been particularly difficult. I have had a bunch of problems with my mental health, and I have had to go to a psychiatric hospital for 2 different times. One was a 4-week stay, and the other was more than a 6-week stay. And I haven't even been home for 4 weeks yet from the last stay, so things are still a touch rocky, but getting better. So you don't have to worry about me. I just want to be sort of open and honest, and making sure you guys know where I'm coming from with this topic. So what I really appreciate here with the wargaming hobby is the fact that it is something that you can do in so many different ways. So and there are probably aspects of it that I don't even think about, because they're not what's important to me, but for someone else that part of the hobby is perhaps what's keeping them going from day to day, particularly in difficult periods of time. So for me, one of the most important aspects of the hobby is definitely painting the models. There used to be a time when I was really big into playing games as well. And especially if you have been following this channel for a while, you've heard me say multiple times that I paint to play. And I still really like the idea of that, but I don't think I have played a game in, I don't know, perhaps close to a year or something. I just haven't had the mental energy for it, and I haven't really had. I mean, playing a game, you have to bring all your stuff, and everything that is sort of like practical and logistical is a huge challenge for me in my day-to-day life. So packing up an entire army and making sure you have everything, writing an army list, reading up on the rules, all those kinds of things are just well, they're not quite within my reach yet. I hope to get back to playing, because I really enjoyed it when I did. Right now it's just sort of it's difficult, and it seems like and it just seems too challenging, too impractical, too it's just not where I am at right now, but I hope it'll get better, because the playing was really fun. So right now painting has really been the main thing, and I have to say that when you are staying at a psychiatric hospital, and I hope not too many of you guys have been there, because I think it's safe to say that it's not that much fun. I can think of a lot of other places I would rather hang out. But if it's necessary to go there, then you obviously have to go there. And uh, so I was sitting there and I had like, I mean, hospitals are probably different in different parts of the world, but in Denmark at least you have like a room to yourself and you have your own, bathroom and stuff. And it's, you can close a door and have some privacy and stuff, and it's fine, but it's also really, really boring. I mean, you're just sitting there in that room and you have a bed and you have a table and you have whatever else you brought. Like I had a really old laptop, like ancient laptop that I could play Heroes of Might and Magic 3 on, which was also really excellent. I had my phone, I had some books, and that was basically it. I could do some jigsaw puzzles that the hospital had, but most of them were like 1,000 pieces of puzzles with like pictures of a sunset or something, and that's probably fine, but that's not for me. I like jigsaw puzzles, but I don't like them when they're just like really boring, like scenes of nature or something. So I was getting really, really bored, and then one of my my wargaming friends said to me, like, we were writing like on texting on Messenger or whatever, and he said, well, why don't you paint? And I was like, oh, I don't think I can paint here. I mean, I'm not sure I even would be allowed to bring in like my models and my paints and brushes and everything. And he said, well, I think you should, consider it, because why not? I mean, and what's the worst that can happen anyway? You can ask them and they can say no. I really hate asking people for anything, especially if I'm afraid they'll say no. So I didn't do that. But then I had another friend whom I also got to know from the wargaming hobby. We met each other at a local a tabletop club that we go to each Thursday, and she was at the hospital visiting me, and I talked to her about perhaps I should ask if I can paint, but I'm not quite sure. And she was like, well, why don't I just ask on your behalf? And she did. And they were like, sure, you can paint. But please don't film anything from inside the hospital because of like privacy rules and stuff. So I couldn't make any videos of what I was painting, but I could paint, and I could obviously, take a photo with just centering the model I was painting. And that was just, I mean, when I got started painting, it was just such a sense of being like normal and doing something that I'm good at, and something that has nothing to do with mental health issues or anything. I could just sit down and paint. And so I actually got quite a bit of painting done while I was in the hospital. I know I painted this one. This is like, it's difficult to see with this webcam, but it's like a very happy, very brightly colored orc dude. I forgot what they have. I don't know what the name of the unit is. I can't remember off the top of my head. And I only have this one painted, and I think they're supposed to go in a unit or something. But I'll get back to painting more of these. He was fun to paint. I also started painting my Care Space Marines. Again, not the best photos, or not the best shots here in the video. And then I also painted almost the entire avatar of Kane while I was at the hospital as well. So that's why I haven't been able to do like a tutorial video of how I painted the avatar. So, but it was really nice, it's just sitting there and coming up with the painting schemes and painting ideas, and focusing on, what kind of texture do I want on the loincloth, or how do I want to do the shoulder plates and stuff, like really ordinary things. And that was just really helpful. So I would have to say that one of the things that really has meant the world to me this past year, as as an autistic person going through stuff, is the fact that the wargaming hobby is, while there are a lot of changes, it is also fairly consistent. Like, you have some models, and they're like physical models that you have to build, you have to paint them, and there's also the whole community aspect of it. It's like very safe. You can at least it feels safe from my point of view. Sometimes social interactions can be a little bit challenging, and sometimes I don't really have the energy for them. But I can still feel sort of connected to the hobby community just by taking a photo of let's say, the orc dude I painted, and posting it online, like on Twitter or Instagram or in Facebook groups, and then people will react to it. And I know that the wargaming community, as probably most other communities out there, it can be toxic, but I think I've developed like quite the ability to just tune out, comments that are negative, like just to be negative. So like trolls and stuff. Of course, if people have like constructive criticism of something I've painted, I am always happy to receive that. But if people are just, writing, this looks awful. You're an awful person for painting with these hideous colors, and you have now ruined a perfectly good model. I mean, that's not constructive, and I just sort of zoom past that. I don't even really mind people who. I mean, if you want to write stuff like that to people you don't know who want to share their hobby projects, I mean, sure, go ahead. But I'm not going to waste a lot of energy on that. But so many people will be writing like nice comments, and I even noticed that since it had been some time since I had posted something, obviously for obvious reasons, a lot of people were writing stuff like, "Oh, I'm so happy to see you back," and I've been missing your posts and stuff like that, like really encouraging. And these are people I don't even know. Like in real life, we've never met each other, and perhaps we have never had like much sort of direct interaction. But still, people care about each other. It's still a community, and I think that gives that is really motivating for me to like know that there are people out there in the world who actually care about what I do, and whether I am even around to do stuff at all. And that was just really important for me, and it still is really important. And again, I'm not saying that there can't be issues with the wargaming community, because obviously there is, but it's still it was really important to me. And also I've just really appreciated the fact that I could still feel connected to the hobby while I wasn't even able to go to the gaming club or anything. I massively appreciate it. Sometimes if you write a comment to someone like just cool colors or whatever, you might think, oh, I'm just writing something, but you never know, it might mean the world to the person you're writing to, right? So the more we can write cool stuff to each other about the hobby we all love, the better it is. Also, I really want to give a shout out to the fact that I had some really nice and great friends who actually came to visit me while I was at the hospital. Also from the both sort of non-gaming, non-hobby related friends, but also friends I have met through the hobby, and it was just so nice. And just this feeling of being still part of a community and being missed, and people asking, so when are you coming back? Are you going to be able to come next Tuesday or Thursday? Or, are you going to be able to come to the tournament? And we really miss you, and we're excited to see what you're painting, and stuff like that. Just feeling like you're not just completely isolated from the outside world. And that is particularly, when I don't feel up to being like social in real life. It's just so cool still being able to have a hobby and have a circle of friends who actually care. It has also been a really nice thing to have like the news coming in, like I of course follow the news from GW, and just being able to get like seeing an article with a new model and be like, oh, that looks cool, and feeling that excitement about something, and then I am able to share it with someone. I could just send a text to one of my friends, be like, oh, what do you think of this? And he'll be like, that is so cool, I so want to get this. And then I can text back, I know, right? And that's just awesome. So yeah, I just, I guess I want to say thank you to the, broader wargaming community. As I said, I mean, I also have a really cool, really, really amazing family, and they have been so supportive through all of this. But I have also just been really amazed, what the hobby has actually meant to me, and I know that I feel better because now that I'm home, I'm actually, enthusiastic about the hobby again. the last couple of months before I went to the hospital, I had like a feeling of I actually want to paint, but I'm too tired. I'm too exhausted. I'm not really up for it. It started feeling more like a chore, which your hobby shouldn't. But on the other hand, there was like the only sort of both creative and sort of practical thing I was really able to do. I mean, otherwise I'd just spend the entire day surfing the internet and playing old video games, and it felt like, you know, if I was painting, I was actually producing something at least. So that was better. And now that I'm back home and doing better, I'm like really enthusiastic. I'm like, oh, I want to do this project, but if I do that, then I don't have time for this, and I also have kind of there was a buy sell swap day at the local gaming club, and I said, oh, I want to paint this model, and I bought another model, and you know, so it feels really good. Has been like it's like an easy way for me to know where I'm at, you know, mental health wise. If I'm getting like enthusiastic, be like, oh, I can't wait until GW releases something, or I want to build this terrain project, or you know, any sort of thing. I know that you know, things are looking up. So yeah, the hobby has just yeah. I wouldn't say that it is solely responsible for saving my life, because I think, you know, most of that credit definitely goes to my family, of course, and you know, friends. But I would definitely say that wargaming has been, you know, a really big help in that, and it has been something that I always had to look forward to, and something that I could always participate in, and something that I knew would also be waiting for me when I was. You know, when I got better and was ready to join the community again, and it has been, and that's awesome. And now I am finding myself, you know, really passionate about the hobby again, and I want to do all sorts of things, which is cool. But it is also it has kind of led me to buying like a whole bunch of stuff, because now I want to do a Chaos Space Marine army, and I kind of bought a Tyranid like monster. I don't know what Termagon. I don't know. It's like yay high and you know, beastie, and you know, a model from Slaves to Darkness, like the Lord on the. It's not like draconian sort of thing he's writing. Yeah, and I've been working on a terrain board and all sorts of things. So now I have way too many projects, and I just want to do them all at once, which I think is way better than wanting to do nothing at all. So that's awesome. So I have been rambling, and I know, but I do hope that this perhaps was, you know, slightly helpful for at least a couple of people out there, and I hope that that some of you perhaps feel seen or heard. That was definitely the intention, or at least just know a little bit more about what it's like, you know, dealing with mental health issues, and how a hobby and a community such as this can really help you out. So if you have any questions or comments or anything, please leave them down below, and I'll do my best to get back to them. But one of the things with the social interaction thing is I will read every single comment, but sometimes if I don't know exactly how to respond, I will probably just not. And that's not because I don't appreciate the response. It's not because I don't like what you have, you know, written or anything. It's just if I don't know exactly how to respond, I just can't do it. So please know that every comment is read and is appreciated, and I will get back to as many of them as I can. So I hope you'll understand that as well. So yeah, thank you so much for watching, and happy International Autism Day. Bye.